It's the News Prime on Global Television. Hello and welcome to the News Prime on Global Television, live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Judith Peters. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Wednesday approved the state's staggered 6 out of 14 public universities established in the twilight of the Muhammadu Buhari administration. The Buhari administration approved the establishment of no fewer than 75 universities encompassing federal, state and private institutions within 7 years. The Minister of Education, Jare Mamman, who reviewed these to State House correspondents, said the choice of the universities are 2 colleges of agriculture, education and medicine. Each was strategic to the skill empowerment goals of the Tinubu-led administration. However, Mamman said the federal government lacked the funds and qualified staffing to kickstart all institutions at once, as they are capable and capital intense. As well, the Federal Executive Council, FEC, has proposed a sum of 26.1 trillion naira for the 2024 fiscal year to be submitted to the National Assembly. The government said it was working towards ensuring that the January to December budget cycle is maintained and that the 2024 budget is passed and signed before December 31st, 2023. The Minister of Budget and Planning, Atiku Bagudu, made the disclosure at the end of Council meeting presided over by President Bola Tinubu at the Council Chamber Presidential Villa, Abuja. Briefing State House correspondent at the end of the FEC, Bagudu said Council has approved the 2024 to 2026 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF, and Fiscal Strategy Papers, FSP. He explained that the executive is required by the Fiscal Responsibility Act to present to the National Assembly ahead of a budget presentation, a document which will provide a medium-term economic outlook for the economy. As well, the Nigeria Senate has asked President Bola Tinubu to immediately declare a state of emergency on drug abuse in Nigeria as to safeguard the future of the country. The resolution reached during plenary is sequel to a motion on the growing menace of illicit drug use and other medicinary substances across Nigeria. Kikelomo Okere has details.
The sponsor of the motion, Senator Babangida Hussein, had in his lead debate noted that Nigeria is presently facing a rise in drug abuse which has reached an unprecedented level, transforming from a mere transit route in the 1990s into a country filled with drugs abusers and drug traffickers all over its land space.
While a population of 30 to 35 million Nigerians spends approximately $15,000 and $30,000 annually on psychotropic drugs and alcoholic beverages, respectively. The Senate is also to note that according to a report by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and the European Union on Drug Use in Nigeria, about 14.3 million Nigerians between the ages of 15 and 64 are drug abusers.
Several lawmakers who contributed during the debate expressed worries over the use of mood-altering or psychoactive, performance-enhancing drugs, dependence drugs, as well as abuse of prescription drugs.
We should, in my view, urge the President to lead the challenge. The President of the Federal Republic has to be urged to declare an emergency on this and to lead the national response to it. In every country where this has happened, and we are not alone, the Americans dealt with the opioid crisis. Anywhere you have this issue, the executive must take the lead.
That unfortunately, the words of most of our elites are also affected. Fortunately, we have a leadership of NDLE that is very, very determined. General Buba Marwa retired, was our governor in Borno State. And all of us here know his determination and capacity and the effort he has put in this NDLE that has turned it around and even given the institution an international recognition. But he is handicapped. He is handicapped I discussed with him severally, and coincidentally, this is the time to help him. This is the time to get the committee that this Senate has created to sit down with the leadership of the NDLE to know what they need.
My distinguished colleagues, it's a serious matter. We need to really wake up from it's a sad commentary on the way things are done in this country. Very, very sad comment. A big nation that human capital now is number one in whatever you think. Any war, any country out in the whole world, any country, human capital is what is in the front burner, is what drives, good economy. And we have an abundant population, youthful population, and we're allowing it to get destroyed through, intake of illicit drugs.
A lot has to be done by families if we have to bring this situation under control. And I think it's what Senator Dixon said, that we have reached a point of national emergency. We should convoke a national discourse on narcotics, and then at the end of it, we should come up to this chamber as legislators to formulate policies and possible legislations.
The Senate subsequently resolved to, among others, to employ the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Federal Ministry of Health, and other relevant government institutions to step up their efforts to curb the alarming consumption of Mkpuru-Mmiri and Kukara, which were prevalent in the southern and northern parts of the country. The upper chamber also directed its committee on NAFDAC, drugs and narcotics to liaise with relevant federal government agencies to converge a national summit on the state of drug and narcotic abuse in the country. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News, Abuja.
In the meantime, the Senate has confirmed the nomination of Ola Olukayede, Halima Shehu, and Muhammad Ahmad Joda. President Bola Tinubu has nominated Olukayede as the chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Shehu as the national coordinator, National Social Investment Program Agency, and Muhammad Ahmad Joda as the new secretary of the nation's anti-graft agency. The appointees were confirmed in the upper chamber on Wednesday. As well, the Nigeria Senate on Tuesday went into a lengthy closed session after its chief whip, Ali Ndume, stormed out of the plenary section citing errors committed which were not readdressed. Barely 10 minutes after commencement of plenary, the Borno South Senator point of order on alleged errors which were not corrected by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. Kike Lomo Okere has more.
The error, according to Ndume, was a motion moved by Senator Sumaila Kawu for debate on the need for reopening of Nigeria-Niger border without reading the title of his motion. Ndume, who cited Order 51 of the Senate Standing Rules, requested the President of the Senate to allow for correction of any error made or observed in plenary.
We're just starting the session, and as we go, we should be taking note of the small mistakes that we can make, and we should correct them. The issue of saying that you have ruled, if the ruling is wrong, even the Supreme Court, when it passes judgment.
But Akpabio quickly intercepted him by saying, having ruled on issues raised, it cannot be revisited, and consequently ruled Ndume out of the order. Senator representing Kogi West, Sunday Karimi, spiritedly had attempted to sustain Ndume's line of arguments through another point of order, but was also ruled out of order by the President of the Senate. In a troubleshooting effort, the Deputy President of the Senate, Jibrin Barao, quickly rose to read Order 16, which requires substantive motion to be moved by any senator for correction or review of earlier decision taken.
Order 63. With your permission, I read. The President of the Senate, in the Senate, and the chairman in any committee shall be responsible for the observance of the rules of order in the Senate and committee respectively, and their decision upon any point of order shall not be open to appeal, shall not be open to appeal and shall not be reviewed by the Senate except upon a substantive motion after notice. So once you have ruled, nobody can bring up that matter again until a notice given and a substantive motion is tabled. So once you rule, you have ruled. Except you want to go against this.
Sustaining Barrow's point of order by Akpabio infuriated Ndume by raising another point of order, Order 54, to seek for correction of the perceived error.
For the Chief Whip, just as a way of, advising the Senate on the way we do things. Mr. President, this is the Senate. This is the Senate. And we should not shy away from learning.
Sorry, Eric Clark, can I have that Order 54?
But without being allowed to make a full presentation of his argument, the President of the Senate ruled him out of order again.
All sequence of speeches, motions or bills coming before the Senate. So as we are coming under Order 54, this is what is written there. So I'm sorry, Leader, we rule you out of order.
Angered by Akpabio's decision, Ndume packed his documents and furiously stormed out of the chamber. Kikelomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Iwe Bunyi Onyeka as the new Deputy Chief Whip. Senate President Godswill Akpabio announced a new appointment at plenary. Ashiru, who was heritable to the Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate, was elevated to the position of Deputy Leader of the Senate, which became vacant following the appointment of Senator Dave Umahi as Minister of Works by President Bola Tinubu. The governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, says Nigeria needs to get our education right in order for other sectors to take shape. Professor Soludo made the remark during a courtesy visit to the Minister of Education in Abuja. Global TV education correspondent Subarat Usman has more details for us.
The governor said Anambra State is revolutionizing the public school system to make it smart to allow less privileged children access to quality education and break the genes of poverty.
I recruited 5,000 teachers within my first 9 months in office. I don't think this has happened anywhere else. And we are again recruiting another 3,000. We're ending the era of PTA teachers in our school system. And all of them must be certified teachers. TRC and as it were, then upgrading infrastructure-wise and technology that enables them. And we're hoping to partner effectively with the federal government in a number of these areas. We want to showcase what you have to offer us, what you got to offer Nigeria. We want to become your model and become your partner in all of this, in delivering.
On his part, Minister of Education Professor Tahir Mamman urged states in the country to emulate the Anambra education model, especially in the area of basic education.
In a federal system, the Constitution makes it a concurrent matter, so we will continue to provide the policies to ensure that no state is left behind. And no child of Nigeria is left without education, because for us leaders, leaving that category of people out of education is a very serious omission and application of our responsibility.
I need to develop a roadmap that will be presented to the public for input by the Minister of President, hoping that if you are around with your passion basic education, you will be with us in that program to contribute to the success and tell us the stories of Anambra State and how our roadmap can also tap for the enormous work we have done in moving this country forward.
The minister commended the governor for turning the tide of education in the state, saying that government will continue to provide policies to ensure that no state and child are left behind. Swabura Usman, Global Television News, Abuja.
Fatima Bukar, a daughter of a member of the Borno State House of Assembly representing Ngala State constituency, Bukar Abacha, was on Tuesday evening murdered by unknown persons around the Ketchiri Bayangida Dampe area of Maiduguri, the state capital. The husband of the victim, who took her corpse to a police station, said he found her lifeless body in his house with her hands and legs tied behind her back while her 2-year-old child was crying. The Gwange Police Division, however, evacuated the corpse to the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. Meanwhile, the Borno State Police commanders arrested Adam Alhaji Ibrahim, the husband to the deceased, Fatima Alhaji Bukar. Adam was arrested Tuesday night after the state governor, Babangana Zulum, directed authorities to take her body back to the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital for an autopsy. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Police Affairs, Senator Ibrahim Gadam, has sought for a strong partnership with Canada to foster stronger ties and collaboration in various sectors, particularly in the area of security and law enforcement. Kikelomo Okere reports that he made the request during the courtesy visit by the Canadian Embassy in Nigeria, led by its High Commissioner James Christophe, to the headquarters of the Ministry of Police Affairs in Abuja.
The Minister of Police Affairs urged officers of both countries to seize the opportunity to forge a stronger and more fruitful partnership between Nigeria and Canada, adding that together they can create a safer, more prosperous world for the citizens. The minister noted that the meeting signifies the mutual desire of Nigeria and Canada to enhance cooperation and jointly address the challenges that affect the society.
Our collaboration will not only benefit our countries, but also contribute to the overall stability and security of the international community. The visit of His Excellency Christophe presents a unique opportunity for us to explore avenues for collaboration in areas such as intelligence sharing, capacity building, and joint operations. By leveraging our respective strengths, we can effectively combat transnational crimes, terrorism, cyber threats, and other challenges that transcend borders. Moreover, the meeting serves as a platform to foster people-to-people connections between our nations.
Earlier, the Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, James Christophe, says both countries have a great bilateral relationship in numerous sectors of human development, especially issues relating to policing. He says the collaboration will help to address criminal activities, thereby impacting both countries.
Both have underlined to me the incredible level of cooperation and friendship that they enjoy with elements of Nigerian police services that are translating into efforts on the ground to address criminal activities that are impacting both countries. With those brief remarks, I would just say that congratulations once again on your appointment. You can continue to count on cooperation from our federal police detachment in Lagos, and to say that I am resident here in Abuja and look forward to liaising with you in person in your office as we move forward from here. And I thank you.
A strong partnership in the realm of security is crucial for a well-being and prosperity of the nation. The collaboration will contribute to the overall stability and security of the international community. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News, Abuja.
Minister of Education Professor Tari Maman has said the ministry will continue to provide beneficiaries with unwavering support to fully realize the potential of tertiary education research, application and services, also called TERRAS, as a key component to repositioning, strengthening and rekindling hope in the tertiary education sector. Professor Maman stated this during the unveiling of the TERRAS app in Abuja. Global TV education correspondent Saburat Usman was there.
The minister commended a committee of vice chancellors of Nigerian universities and sister associations in the polytechnics and colleges of education subsector for their leadership role in synergizing ideas from membership and providing vital input to ensure that the right steps are taken to prepare our tertiary institutions for global competitiveness. Earlier in his opening remarks, the Executive Secretary of TETFund, Architect Sonny Echano, said TERAS is influenced by the ever-increasing importance of information and communications technology (ICT) across various innovations spanning data and analytics to adopt a strategic approach by ensuring that the value for money is maximized while making a wide array of services available to the entire education ecosystem.
Policies have been carefully crafted and implemented to harness the power of technology, unleashing its immense potential to uplift our educators. Exploit opportunities for sustainable economic growth and development. A little bit about TETFund interventions in the ICT sector in the last couple of years, or few years. From 2016 to 2018, the fund focused its ICT support intervention on digital literacy and capacity development for staff at our beneficiary institutions, which by 2020 achieved the training certification of over 20,000 persons in various digital skills relevant to today's ICT world.
TERAS signifies a new beginning for Nigerian tertiary education and will power education to greater heights. Shabwa Usman, Global Television News, Abuja.
The Executive Secretary, National Senior Secondary School Education Commission, NSSEC, has appealed to the federal government to include the NSSEC Gazette Act 23 in the 2024 budget. The commission on Wednesday stated that its executive secretary, Iela Ajayi, made a call recently during his working visit to the Chairman Senate Committee on Basic and Secondary Education. Senator Lawan Usman and the Chairman Committee on Education, Mark Hussaini, in their respective offices at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja. The statement disclosed that the Commission, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Education, was working towards producing the final draft of the National Policy on Senior Secondary Education, which is said would help to invigorate the senior secondary education subsector. Ajayi added that the Commission had commenced the critique of the minimum standard document by different stakeholders, which would be accepted by all after scrutiny as a document for the minimum standard in that subsector. He made a compassionate appeal that for the Commission to achieve its mandate of revitalizing senior secondary education to meet global standards. You're watching Global TV's News Prime, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using our Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. When Global TV's News Prime returns, Euro 2024, Ken shines as England trashed Italy 3-1. The news continues shortly after this short break. Please don't go away. Stay with us. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, it's Steve Global Television bringing you a live broadcast of the News Prime from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. On the foreign scene, the President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, has announced $100 million for humanitarian assistance in Gaza. In a post on his official Twitter handle, now known as X handle, Biden said the money will support over 1 million displaced and conflict-affected Palestinians and will have mechanism in place so this aid reaches those in need, not Hamas or terrorist groups, a post read. Still on the foreign scene, the U.S. President, Joe Biden, landed in Israel Wednesday on a solidarity visit following Hamas attack that have led to major Israeli reprisal. Air Force One touched down just before 11 a.m. at Tel Aviv Ben Gurion Airport, where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was set to welcome Biden personally on the tarmac. Let's now look at some business news in Nigeria. Federal High Court in Abuja has rescheduled the trial of Stella Odua, a Chinese construction firm, CCECC, and others on alleged 5 million fraud charges for November 14th. The matter, which was number 3 on the court's list, could not be heard by Justice Iyang Eko, although counsel to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Alpha Muket, was in court. The defendant, including Odua, were absent. Justice Eko had, on July 21st, ordered the EFCC to produce persons behind breaching its privacy through text messages on his phone and another group who petitioned the Chief Justice of Nigeria regarding the ongoing case. The judge, who adjourned the matter until today, directed that the anti-corruption agency must produce those persons in court. And as part of strategies to beat high operating costs in the aviation industry, domestic airlines have increased the number of flight seats, allowing more travelers to commute and boost revenue. As well, the president of the National Association of Nigeria Travel Agency, Susan Akporiaye, responding to the effect of foreign exchange scarcity in an exclusive interview with correspondent, said the new development was part of coping mechanism employed by airline owners to increase the capacity of their airlines amid dwindling revenue. According to her, the lower seats, although cheaper, were to drive up the average seat per departure and translate into lower per seat costs. The federal government revealed on Tuesday that over 100 milli-electricity grids are currently in operation across the country, making Nigeria one of the largest mini-grid markets in Africa. It disclosed this through the Rural Electrification Agency, a federal government organization, during the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the REA and the African Mini-Grid Developers Association in Abuja. Partners on the day signed the MOU to further promote and accelerate mini-grid development in Nigeria with focus on knowledge sharing, capacity building, better coordination of the sector, among other initiatives. And now on sport, it was a terrible night to forget for Brazil on Tuesday as they suffered a 2-0 defeat at Uruguay in their 2026 World Cup qualifying match, and also had star striker Neymar to tears as he left the field with a knee injury. The 31-year-old striker tripped and fell during a run in the 44th minute at the Centenario Stadium and was immediately surrounded by players from both teams as he held his left knee. Neymar was carried off on a stretcher as he held his hands to his face while teammate Richarlison came on to replace him. Brazil's medical team had no immediate update on Neymar's condition at halftime, but team Dr. Rodrigo Lasma said after the game that the star player had already undergone tests and that more would be done on Wednesday. And that's it on Global TV News Prime, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using a Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you again.